resource containers, right? Hey, hey!
Hang on. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Warshippers of all ages, welcome back. It's time for King of the Sea 13. We're so glad you're here. How's it going, Zaf?
He always has to start like this, guys. Like, we beat you
Yes.
out, and
Look. Look. It's not my fault that you had a little premature trailer action there, okay? That's
hey,
not
I counted it down
a-
as I was ready to
is-
push the damn button.
that is a Ustream problem, sir. And I have a shtick to do, okay? That's literally that's my thing. So you're just gonna have to roll with it. I'm just the way it is.
All right.
Anyway, guys,
Fair
welcome in. Appreciate it. Glad you're here. It is day one of King of the Sea here on North America. I, of course, am SeaRaptor. I'm back with my good buddy Lord Zaf, doing what we have been doing for
so
crap,
long.
Zaf, you realize it's been almost 4 years? Almost.
Is it 4? Yeah, that sounds
almost
about
4
right.
Years.
Sounds about right.
Almost 4 years. Spring,
Feels
when we do our
good.
next King of the Sea. For King of the Sea 14, that will be our 4 full years. Over 200 games now. Well over 200 games we've done. See, 6. We just started with King of the Sea 5. My God.
I
5,
think
6,
so.
7,
I
8,
think
9,
so.
10, 11,
I gotta
12.
fix my lighting.
Our ninth King of the Sea together. Unbelievable.
Right. But hey, you know what?
It's gonna be good stuff.
It's been magic ever since. Like, you and I have gotten along so well. Many of you viewers know that Raptor and I are good friends in real life as well. We've hung out before, and hope to continue hanging out in the future. And it's been fantastic just being able to do King of the Sea with Raptor and with everybody else too, of course, and with all of you viewers watching and supporting us. We can't thank you guys enough.
Absolutely. I'm not gonna lie, King of the Sea is a ton of work, and usually by the end of the whole tournament evolution, my wife is looking at me like, "Is this over yet?" But
yeah.
One of the things that I know for a fact, at least for me, and I believe it is true for you, Zach, that keeps us going is the fact that we get people who come in here time after time after time that say, "Guys, we really appreciate all the work you do. We love watching," and that helps, guys. It really does.
Yes.
It makes a difference. You might seem small, but it makes a difference. So thank you.
Yep.
Thank you if you're one of those people.
Every piece of feedback you guys can give us is wonderful, positive and negative. If there's things that we can improve for you, we want to know so we can make it better. And if there's things that we're doing well, we also want to know so we can keep doing it. So
Yes.
Thank you all.
All right, so Zaf, we have about 5-ish minutes until we jump right into game 1 here of King of the Sea here on North America. So let's talk about what has changed from the previous event. Okay.
Well, for one, we have global bans.
Yes.
So I'm going to navigate over to that page here. So the tournament itself is 9 versus 9. Limit of 2 battleships, limit of 0 carriers, and of course as many cruisers, destroyers as can fit on that team. And then globally, both the Petropavlovsk and the Kleber have been banned. Now, this is by vote, so each team had a chance to vote for a ship. They voted, and those were the top 2 ships that were banned. You cannot bring either of those ships in this tournament at all. Dunsies.
That is correct. We will not be seeing either one of those. Now, we had a discussion, you and I, the other day on the main World of Warships channel with Bogsy and Maridraco about the bans, right?
Mm-hmm.
About Petropavlovsk. Petropavlovsk fills a very somewhat unique role, let's say, in a tournament like this. But really, Petro's biggest thing that people don't want to deal with, she is so irritating to try and kill. She just tanks way too much damage for a ship that size, it feels like.
Yes.
Kleber, on the other hand, of course, the speedy boy French destroyer. We've seen lots of Kleber and Marceau wolf packs over the course of the last several tournaments. They're very popular in King of the Sea play. And, of course, Kleber now off the list, taking everybody's hands. But Marceau, still available.
So it's kind of interesting. The Petropavlovsk is more of kind of like a solo player ship, right? I mean, you can put it in formation, of course, but it can handle itself on its own is what I'm getting at quite well, which is what you were talking about. Kleber, on the other hand, is a ship that it's one of those things where strength in numbers becomes a bigger thing. It scales, its power scales with the numbers of allied Klebers next to it. So you ended up with 3-4 Klebers just going around and shooting the hell out of anything. And I remember Raptor, you and I casting, and then we're like, oh hey, look at that Moskva there that's lit and being farmed by these Klebers, and like not 60 seconds later, it was down to basically dead. And
Yeah.
that's the power of the Kleber, which is why we're not seeing it. But as Raptor mentioned, Marceau still exists, still can be chosen, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a few teams try taking out Marceau comps as a result.
Yeah, we'll definitely see Marceau. Now, we may not see Marceau today, and this is the thing about day 1 and day 2 of King of the Sea here. One of the other structural things that's changed on the NA side is how the tournament is going to play out these first 2 days. For quite a number of years now, at least 2, I think 3 years now on the NA server, day 1 has been Swiss play. And so day 1 tended to be a little draggy, a little harder to manage because it was set up so that you could allow any number of teams into the field. We did this when I was an admin back when we were having 50, 60 people sign up for 50, 60 teams, right? Sign up for King of the Sea. That way we didn't have to turn anyone away, okay?
Right.
There was no waiting list. If you signed up and showed up, you got to play. But as King of the Sea has gotten more popular, the Swiss format started to get a little more unwieldy to manage with this many teams, this many people, this many moving parts. And so the NA admins have wisely, I believe, decided that for this iteration of the tournament, we're going to discard Swiss on day 1. What's going to happen now is we're going to go right to group play here on day 1 and day 2. So what's happened, the 96 unseeded teams that have signed up for King of the Sea have been sorted into 16 groups of 6 each.
Right.
8 of those groups will play today. 8 of those groups will play tomorrow. 3 teams out of each group of 6, the top half of the teams, will move on to day 3. Okay, so basically the goal of today, every team today will play 5 games. And the goal should be a winning record. Okay.
Right.
In most groups, 3 and 2 or better will get you into the next stage of the event. 2 and 3 is going to be real dicey. It's going to depend on the group. There may be a few 2 and 3 teams that qualify depending on the group, but anything less than 2 and 3 probably should not allow you to move on. You got to win at least 2 games to have a chance.
Right. Just quick check. You're ready to go? I'll let them know if so.
I am ready to go. In fact, we should probably talk about the game we're about to go look at, shouldn't we, huh?
That's correct. So this is TNG2 versus Shiki, although they're all WFSDL clan tags, so Shiki might be a sub-clan or what have you. But as Raptor said, this is the fight that we're bringing to you guys. The way that this tournament's working, each of the battles are staggered by 5-minute start time. So this is group 1, and then from there we go to 6, then 5, then 4, then 3, and so on down the line. So you'll be able to see at least one battle from most of the groups today.
Indeed. I think we're going to cover every group but group 2 or something. Is that right?
I believe
forget,
so.
Honestly.
I believe
sounds
so.
Right. I think we're not covering group 2, but you'll see at least one battle from every other group today here on the channel.
Right, because there's 8 groups and there's 7.
Right. Now that I have a schedule of 7 battles, and while we kind of get started here before we're ready, why don't we talk about those battles so that folks that are here can kind of have an idea of what to expect as the day goes on. So obviously we're starting with TNG2 and Shiki. Zath, who's next on the list?
So, sorry, I just tabbed out for a sec. So after that, we're going to move on to NACL versus Yes CV, which I'm told is the clan full of CV mains that want to just prove that they know how to play this game besides CVs.
I can't wait to see that game. It's going to be so amazing. I can't wait.
So that's gonna be fantastic. And then after that, we're moving on to KSE versus SWDT. Not sure who they are, but we know KSE quite well. Moving on to game 4, it's gonna be BLOF versus CAG. We know many of those players. Moving on to game 5, TNG versus Star _. So this is Star Brazil's sub-clan versus TNG's main clan. That's gonna be
a good game.
And that's going to be game 5. Remember, Raptor said we need a winning record. So at that point in the tournament, that could very well be do or die for either or both teams.
That could be a play-in game for one of those teams.
Exactly. Game 6 will be Memes versus CCTV2. And then game 7 is Andes versus Furia, which I think both of them are Latam clans, I think.
I believe that's correct.
I know Furia is.
Name kind of leans, and a name like Andes makes me think, they're probably a South American clan.
Right.
I apologize. We don't necessarily, there's not a cheat sheet for every single team. So if it's a team we're not familiar with, we're going to be making some inferences. We're just going to be guessing. So it's kind of the way it is.
Exactly. And guys, if you go to the tournament website and then you go to participants, I was told that it would be filled in by now. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Andes. And yes.
Yeah, let's have a look.
Wait, no. They
lied to us? Did they lie to us, Saf?
Yeah, it just shows their matches, and then information is literally just the clan tag. So Don't do that.
Womp womp. Okay, well, we'll lean on the guys to help us get that done before next weekend, if not sooner.
Right. Now, keep in mind, guys, that these are the planned battles. Of course, as things happen, sometimes we have delays. As a matter of fact, we haven't started our battle yet. So if this battle lasts a full 20 minutes, we might be trying to find you another battle to cast. If they've already started the next, we will have to see.
Indeed. Well, so you guys we've talked about the tournament, we've talked about a little bit of look at today, but let's talk about what fabulous prizes might await these teams at the end of the rainbow, Zath, because at the end of 6 days of play here on the NA server, somebody's going home with some pretty good loot. You get the option, of course, that the winning team's got some t-shirts, the flag, the steel and the doubloons are really nice.
Yes.
And then even just, you realize now they're giving out doubloons just for participation prizes.
What the
Imagine that. Yes.
You're right.
Just
500
for showing
doubloons.
up to play. Yes, just for showing up to play in King of the Sea,
hey,
you get doubloons. But the real prizes come in the international stage.
How about we shift